everyone. Good afternoon. Karibu. Welcome to today's webinar on achieving route to market success in Kenya with real intelligence. I'm Shraddha Nair, Enterprise Growth Consultant at Bizom, and I'll be your host for today. The major reason why I was so excited to host this webinar is because I've always worked in Kenya with the major brands like Olam, TGI, and Gold Crown Beverages, have spoken to sales heads, IT heads, and even people on field. And I've learned so much about Kenyan markets from these people, and I wanted to share these insights, especially from the eyes of the leading industry brands of the FMCG industry, and also share some insights in this webinar. We're thrilled to have such an incredible audience today with us. We have had CXOs, sales heads, IT leaders, and route to market experts from across Kenya's FMCG and CPG space. Thanks you for joining us today and taking your time out of your busy schedules. Um, Today we're all going on about the buzz of AI and what is AI. We're just wrapping our heads around AI. Today we'll be discussing on how these leading brands are using real and actionable intelligence to solve their route to market challenges on ground, helping teams make smarter decisions, driving efficiency, and scaling operations without disruptions. Before we move into the webinar, you all must be thinking, what is the topic of today's webinar? Today's discussion revolves around achieving route to market success in Kenya with real intelligence. Yeah, right now I said what is AI and what is artificial intelligence. Now we're talking about real intelligence. Right now we're just trying to wrap our heads around AI, and now we're talking about real intelligence. To just sum it up and talk about real intelligence. Real intelligence is nothing but using artificial intelligence and human intuition to make decisions. Every businesses face some ground reality challenges, which could be a very big reality of scaling. And what is the reality of AI? They are the three major pillars. And when businesses face ground reality challenges, there is a lot of impact on the business profitability. How can RI be used to solve these challenges is something we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be setting the agenda for today's call. Today we have a panel discussion with the top FMCG leaders from the biggest FMCG brands. Then we're going to be addressing we're going to be addressing some field level challenges that we see in today's FMCG industry, and we're going to be asking them on how they have overcome this. And let's understand how AI really add value in the route to market. And finally, we have a Bizom's RI co-pilot. So please stay tuned in this session to witness this. I'll be going into this insightful session and diving in. But first, I would want to introduce my esteemed panelists that I'm very excited to introduce. First, we have Sidik Kassam, who's the National Sales Manager at Pwani Oil. I'm very close to Mr. Sidik sir because I've always buzzed him over the a few months. He's always been so patient with me, and he's always shared so much insights. And I've always found that he's always been so patient around every time I've called him, and it really shows. 21 years of experience of handling a huge team under him has shown that he has a lot of patience around people, and he's always driven sales, business development, and has been such a major role in driving growth, and and has shown such a. And this is the reason why we see Pwani Oil is strengthening its market position. And I'm pretty sure everyone in the audience who's here knows and has used Pwani Oil's products at least once. So thank you for joining us, Siddiq sir, today. It's an honor
Thank you.
having you.
Thank you, Sharda, for the kind words.
So now moving on, let's talk about Rehan sir. Rehan sir has been one of the Rehan sir has been Rehan sir. I have been following Rehan sir from a past few months on LinkedIn, and I read his LinkedIn posts a lot, and I get to read such insightful things that happening in Kenya's FMCG industry, and his posts are so exciting. You should probably go ahead and read the comment section. So much interaction that happens on the comments. And I think after this webinar, all of us should go and hit a follow for Rehan sir on his LinkedIn, so we are all updated on what is happening on the FMCG sector. So and Rehan sir is one of general manager at Sojpar, which is the multi-brand FMCG distributor in Kenya. He is one of Kenya's 100 most influential Muslims. Rehan sir has a lot of expertise in distribution management. So and he's been scaling the distribution networks across Kenyan markets. And now we know that if we see our favorite brands on retail shelf, Rehan sir is the reason why, because of his excellent distribution skills. Thank you for joining us today, Rehan
Thank
sir.
you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. Now we're going to be talking about Isaac sir. We've spoken so much about AI, and we've been talking about RI. It would be just this is all because of Isaac sir, because Isaac sir is going to shed light on some AI and how he has been using AI and leveraging it to make technological decisions. Isaac sir has 24 years of experience. I have seen a lot of articles that has been come up, and since I do not have a technology base, articles, I learn new things every day. He's done seamless app implementation. He has a lot of knowledge in fintech, and he's been transforming FMCG operations through technology. And today he will be sharing and sharing some and shedding some light on how AI and data analytics can be used for RTM efficiency. And I'm so grateful to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the long introduction. I'm happy to be in this panel.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our panel for today's discussion. We're looking forward to having engaging conversations and valuable insights from our experts. Everyone can drop in their questions on the chat box, and you can be highlighted in this event as well. And we'll be picking up your questions and passing it on have discussions. So thank you all for joining, and let's jump right into it and ask and put our panelist on the spot. First, I would like to ask Rehan sir a question, because he is one of the biggest distributors, and he's been distributing a lot of brands in Kenya. So I wanted to ask you, Rehan sir, and it's been one of my questions as well when I've been talking to salesmen on field and understanding challenges in Kenya. There are remote. See, Nairobi is more developed than our Garissa and Kismu. So, as a distributor, how do you ensure consistent deliveries to remote retail stores and ensure that there's you know uh, presence of brands? So, what is your strategy on that?
Okay, our biggest strength as a distributor would be the market. And for us as a business, we have fixed delivery schedule for across all our routes to markets where we visit all the market centers. So we have this schedule which we follow. The good thing about it is we try to avoid the market day deliveries to ensure the customers are happy, so that they don't receive their goods on basically a market day which they need to focus on selling. So this is basically to our pre-order booking sales database. It allows us to fix the delivery schedule, and we ensure that the delivery is consistent every week. We have also invested in technology, where if the basically the truck leaves the yard, so there is a mass SMS shooting out to all the customers that the vehicle is arriving, and they should expect delivery as within the day, or maybe probably latest the next day in the morning. So that has really worked well for us. And last but not least, we have maximized the optimization of the delivery routes to ensure that there is a minimum delivery time to our customers. So basically, the smaller trucks, we do send them within a radius of 50 to 80 kilometers, where they can go and come back, and there is a good turnaround time for the vehicles to come back. And it also helps because the bigger trucks, they do go now the further distances. So to ensure that our turnaround time for the vehicles is very good, and we are able to service the market very well. I think that's mostly what we have done, and it's working very well. Thank you.
Thank you for that amazing insight. Now I know why our products have been reaching shelves in Kenya, and especially even in areas like Kisumu and Garissa. And following up with that question, I would want to ask Sitik sir that post pandemic, we've seen that pandemic had caused a lot of changes in the FMCG sector. Um, um, how do you change behavior? Do you think consumers are bulk buying, or do you see that habits shifting?
Yeah, so yes, during the pandemic, the bulk purchases increased, but more towards the edible sector. But then, what also increased in terms of volume was the hygienic or the personal care range increase in volumes. Post that period of the pandemic, uh, bulk purchases reduced. Consumers tended to go back to what they were using before in terms of the smaller packs. And with the current situation in the market, the macro scenario in the market, where expenses are higher than the incomes, then the SKUs that they are purchasing are even going lower. So if a customer was using or a consumer was consuming 5 liters in a month, has now gone to 2 liters or 3 liters in a month. So yeah, so more so towards the consumer packs improving post the pandemic.
Yes, I do realize, during pandemic, we have all faced challenges, but thanks for shedding light into that topic, and it was really insightful. Uh, Now I would want to move into asking Isaac something more, something tech related question. So I wanted to ask that, since Kenya is a distribution led market, how do you manage to look into, what is the performance of how a distributor is performing? Is there any inefficiencies in stock? How is the fulfillment being done? And how can real time data collection help brand assess distributor performance to drive better route to market execution, according to you?
Thank you very much. Um, okay, I'll start. There's always a challenge that has to be addressed first. How much is the distributor opening their stocks to you? So, if you're blind to the distributor's stock, then you run based on how much have you provided to them, and how much has the end, what are they called, the retailers bought from them. Because in a situation we are in, we get orders from the distributors, and the distributor distributes to the end retailers. On our side, we also have DSRs. Those are the people on the ground who take orders and take to the distributors. And for that reason, we are able to tell, based on what they ordered and based on what was ordered by our retailers, we are able to tell how much stock they are able to keep, and how much we should be able to sell or upsell to them. That's the scenario we are in. But with the with further development, we are looking at how we can be able to integrate with those systems from the distributors, or work with a portal that is beneficial to both our company and the distributor, so that we are all operating from the same platform. It's not an easy, technically it's possible, but now at the business level and at the engagement level, that's where now the challenge sits.
God, I really hope that we are able to solve such challenges in the future, so Isaac sir. and we will take your insights. Coming back to the multi-brand distributor, Rehan sir, because I would want to ask him a question following up to that, is that there are so many local brands, right, in Kenya that have been coming up, right? FMCG in Kenya has seen a boom. And I've also experienced that since I'm working in the Kenyan market. I've seen so many new brands been released every day, but still you would see in the shelves that there are some dominant brands, right, like Nestle, Unilever. As a distributor, how do you see pushing local brands into the market, or what strategies would you use to push Kenyan brands so that it is first available in Kenya and we can even globalize this later on? So how do you plan to do that as a distributor? um, so can you share some insights on that?
Okay. So for in terms of pushing brands, basically it's all comes down. Business basically in Kenya is done on relationships, and we have a good relationship basically with our retailers, and based on how we sort their issues, our reaction time, and how we're able to serve them better. So based on that, they give us priority on basically keeping the products, which helps and increase visibility in the outlets. Another good insight is that most multinationals do have heavy budgets for the marketing which we do have. So we try to basically try to advise them to improvise on their JBPs, and we do have JBPs with our customers where we try to lock them in just to be buying from us so that we're able to drive the brand and be able to do so. The multinationals tend to have better execution materials and better execution efficiencies on the ground, unlike ours, but we do try to balance all of them. And for us, what we normally do, we ensure that the POSMs and the merchandise is placed in the right outlet, it goes to the right place, and is utilized well. And this is support we basically share with them to ensure that the visibility is there and availability is there to increase the shelf of take. We also do They also do have merchandisers, and most of the time we do encourage them to do a lot of merchandiser competitions. So a few principals tend to do that, and maybe do like a competition called Selfie Warrior, where photographers are competing nationally. So this helps to encourage and promote uh, uh, actually promote and drive the business and ensure visibility, and the planograms are being arranged and the products are being arranged at the outlet level. So I think that has worked well for us so far, and it's our partnership and uh, down to the retailers. So we bridge a good partnership between the principal and the brands, which helps us drive this business together. Over to you, Shada.
Thank you for that, Rehan sir. I hope that when I visit Kenya, I'll be seeing so many more, you know, local Kenyan brands on the shelves, and we'll all get to experience that in Kenya. Um, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
I would want to ask a question to Sidik sir. That as I was saying, that there are so many multi brands that have been coming up to Kenya, and even multi brands for that matter. Pawani Oil being such one of the most oldest brands in Kenya, how does it stand out in supermarket sales? Are you guys like
Yeah,
merchandising?
so thank you, Shah. Thank you very much, Sharda, for that question. Now, as what Rehan was explaining, is all about partnerships and working together with the distributor and availing the product at the last consumer touch point. I'm sure even Isaac would have the same note that I would say in terms of you must be a differentiator on the shelf, otherwise you'll become a me too. And if your product does not have any differentiation, then you will be on the same bandwagon as all the others and play on price and not on value. The moment you have a differentiator that is unique to your product, then you can demand a certain value uh, and not be on the price play at all the time that other competitors will be on. So again, it is a tie-up. It's a close working relationship with the distributor and all the agencies on ground to ensure that your product is available at eye level, at the strategic areas. When you go into a supermarket in the strategic aisles, next to, for example, the oil will be next to the flour or vice versa. So, and having proper visibility, merchandising execution, and then partnering with distributors and ensuring that the product is taken down to the next or the last level of the consumer touchpoint. And as an organization, then you support it through the ATL, BTL, and you talk about the values that you are offering, which make you stand out from the different competitors that are there on the same page. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I've seen Pawani's merchandising activities, and I'm pretty sure that's why it still stays true to its legacy, and people are, still choosing Pawani over, other brands in the market. That was a great insight, Sitik sir. Um,
Thank
Coming back to Isaac sir, I wanted to ask him this question that there is a lot of so as we say in today's world, we're using data analytics to do, drive a lot of results. So I was reading an article about Coca-Cola, how Coca-Cola used GPS tracking and AI-powered route optimization tools to increase its delivery efficiency, and it cut down on its fuel cost and its order fulfillment rates. So I just wanted to ask you that how can FMCG companies leverage data to optimize its route planning and ensure timely deliveries? And at the end of the day, as you know, we work for FMCG brands. We of course want to drive profitability. So how do you think AI and data can be used parallelly to drive these results?
Oh, thank you very much. Um, of course, when it comes to delivery, there are a lot of areas whereby you can leverage on AI. The first one being, once you get all your orders, how are you going to group them to know which one is going for which route, which one is going to be batched together in one trip, and what routes have you built in order to be able to optimize, and secondly also to ensure that the cost is also uh, minimal. So for AI, the first thing I would do is work leverage on a GIS. Every every customer, we have to have their GIS location. Secondly, we have to know the capacity and the volume. So once that one is done, we can leverage on AI to be able to group them together and be able to tell us, for example, he had the chief had mentioned that for short distances, they use the smaller trucks. So AI will be able to predict which truck should be used because of the distance, the volume, and the number of drops that it has to do. So that one is the first level. The second one is to ensure that it is the cheapest method that we are using. For example, if you select the incorrect type of truck, you might find yourself that if you use a KPI like net ton kilometer, what it costs you to move 1 ton for 1 kilometer, you'll realize it's more than when you use a smaller truck. Now, the AI bit will be able to determine for you based on the number of drops you're doing and the distance, and hence be able to lower that cost for you. So you can leverage on that. The other one we are looking at is are we able to see our trucks end to end? Now, with a GIS locator and IoT, we can be able to see whether the truck is following the accepted route, whether it's meeting its estimated time of delivery, and secondly, we can be able to see unauthorized stops. So that also brings in the value in the delivery bit. Secondly, we can be able also to activate notifications whenever there is an activity that is out of normal. And lastly, we can also be updating our customer every time we achieve a milestone or we are getting closer to where he is. Lastly, with AI, we can be able to, to sort out the problem of proof of delivery. Normally, it's normally hard to be able to come up with a foolproof method of doing proof of delivery. Because if you go to a supermarket, today the guy you find is not in your system. So how does he confirm that he has received the product? So part of AI will be able to know the same location where you did the last approval, uh, the same delivery driver, and it can be able also to use things like you can take a snapshot and it can be able to translate it and strip the data and confirm that the delivery was done. So with the AI, definitely there's a lot we can be able to leverage on when it comes to the delivery part. Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac, sir, especially someone who has no idea on how much AI can be leveraged. This was a very good insight for all of us, and all of the brands and everyone who's watching can use this, to use and use AI in this world and leverage that, to its fullest capacity. And also, all the people attending the webinar, please do put your questions on the chat box, and we can push it to our panelists, and we can put them on the spotlight and ask them questions. So moving on, again I wanted to ask this to Rehan sir, that again, since it is festive season going on again, and there is and I'm pretty sure it's in even in Kenya, everyone during festive seasons, people are usually overstocking, and there are some common issues that happen, and there could be shortages, and especially and since you are a distributor, how do you maintain that there is no overstocking, there is no shortages, and how do you navigate these challenges and balance your stock levels, and ensure that there is stock availability, and especially during times of festivities?
Yeah. Okay. Balancing stocks during peak seasons, it's tricky. It's not an easy task. Uh, but now we don't only have to use accurate estimates based on historical data. We also use market trends. We use market campaigns being done by our principals in the market. We also have to put that in. Obviously, consumers are changing. Behavior shifts during economic conditions. So this past December, it was not an easy task because economic conditions were tough, and we had to balance the stock levels. So we basically don't only rely on past historical data, but all other uh, support which we get from the market campaigns, the new product launches. So we also put that in, and then try to increase our quantities and make sure that we are not understocked at any point given time. Yeah. So also what we normally categorize the products, basically fast moving products need aggressive stocking up, while the slow moving products, we do more of cautious planning, and we just stock up as of when we need them based on our current run rate. But ideally, a distributor should be holding a minimum of 14 days stock cover for any other product that is being distributed, to ensure that there is availability both at the distributor and at the in the retail market. So all that, and point we sum it up with basically using data driven decisions, where when they're slow moving items during the festivities, we try to now market these products more. We try to push them more in the market. We do promotions for these particular slow moving items to ensure that they get some market share, and it's when at least there is more of sales, and people, the market is a bit vibrant, so they have a chance to basically So all that in hand, it helps us drive the business and the sales. And all in all, you have to be agile and adaptable. Yeah. So you have to keep monitoring the sales continuously. Efficiency in communication with the suppliers based on how they can deliver on time to you, and you have the right stocks at the right time. Thank you.
Especially since it's Ramadan season, we all can take notes of what Rehan sir has said and follow this, so we can manage overstocking and understocking. Moving on, I would like to ask, this is one of the questions that I wanted to ask Sidik sir, is that you know. Since even I've known that in Kenya, a lot of people use van sales as the mode of, mode of distributing products. I just wanted to ask that, are GPS based delivery systems helping lower for fuel costs for Pawani Oil? And how are you reducing your logistics cost with route optimization? And what are the some you
So yeah, so thank you for that, Shagas. I think what Rehan also mentioned earlier, and what Isaac also mentioned, if you clearly know there's a fixed route plan that you need to cover on a day, the first thing is first you need to understand the customer's psyche when you're going there. Yeah, the trade is so sophisticated that they expect you. If it's a Monday, then they will expect you on every Monday, or every fortnightly on Monday, if it's a 2 week journey plan, because their cash limit is that much, and a lot of you have a lot of competitors. So if you're not there on that same day every week, then that cash is gone, and you will not hit your number, or you will not be available in that store for that week because the customer will not buy, and most of this is on cash. Now, the GPS is how it helps is you've already locked in that the customers in that along that route. Now you have known that these customers need to be serviced on this exact date. That is the extra additional data point you put into in the applications, and then you work on a shorter journey plan. So you know, based on the time that you will spend on every outlet, you work on those plans, either starting from the furthest to the coming to the nearest, or vice versa, and then using AI to get you into predictive loading based on the demands of that route. How that will help is because a rep will now know what SKUs. Now, for example, in certain lines, you will only carry in van selling, you'll carry one or two lines or one or two SKUs. But in certain industries, like our industry, whereby we have six brands that we need to carry, and each brand has got six variants, and they have close to a total of 100 SKUs in that entire basket. You can't carry all those 100 SKUs at a go. Now, you don't know what the customer will demand for. So, the predictive loading helps in telling us what that route requires. Based on history, based on data that is generated in the system, it will tell us what we need to load. So, we optimize on route coverage. Number two, you optimize on vehicle capacity because in that manner. You cannot also go and sell a certain product in a route that it will not work. So it optimizes that, and you have a balanced one, and you improve on output as opposed to not having a good output at the end of the day. Thanks, Shorter.
Thank you, Siddiq sir, for that insight. I'm pretty sure a lot of van sales modules, FMCG brands that are struggling to figure this out will have a great insight from what you had mentioned. And thank you for that. Now I have more of a tech side of a question. That is that I was reading an article about Nestle and Unilever, and they have implemented mobile-based ordering system to reduce dependency on sales reps and implementing fulfillment speed. As we know, at least in Kenya, FMCG companies still rely on manual processes, right, for order management, retailer engagement, leading to sometimes it could lead to inefficiencies. So how can these digital tools enhance communication? Like, would you think it would be much better if FMCG brands who are the leading FMCG brands especially could have direct connection to their retailers, so that we can cut down on sales efficiencies inefficiencies. Can you shed some light on that, Isaac?
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic, especially when we start talking about connecting to the distributors, connecting to the supermarkets. It becomes a little bit hard because it means if we are going to integrate, you're going to integrate with more than 100 different people using 100 different computer systems, and maintaining it will be a nightmare. However, we have chosen about three ways we can do that. Maybe for some major customers, depending on the percentage. Like we have one customer who's a huge customer, we can be able to do an integration directly to their system. Secondly, we are also building portals. Our current system is a self-service system whereby you get in, you're able to do your order, and you're able. We are planning to build it to be able, for you to be able to see what we are currently offering in our promotions, and based and an AI-based tool that will be able to predict, will be able to push for you what you would definitely be requiring based on your ordering patterns, based on your stock. You should be able to prompt you to be able to make the next order. Finally, we are looking at the most efficient one that we've seen for the major business to business client is email. All ERP systems normally produce an LPO, and this LPO is normally sent via email. So we've realized that 90% of our major clients send us email attachments of their PO. So what we've done is we've built robots uh, using AI technology, and we are able now to, whenever we get emails from them, we're able to read and strip all the information that is in their PO, and we're able now to post it directly into our ERP. So that way, we've been able to capture and reduce the effort of them uh, sending or calling somebody. We have also reduced the effort of our sales reps sitting down and capturing all that information, and most of the time it used to be coupled with a lot of errors. And we have also now been able to reduce the time from ordering to the time that our system captures and the time you are able to deliver. It has reduced because the moment you order, within the next few minutes or so, it's already in our system. So we can be able to plan for the delivery and also for the fulfillment of the same. So technically, we are using a portal, we are using the AI bot to be able to read, and finally, for major clients, we can afford to do a direct integration. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much for that insight, Isaac. That was great to know how we are seeing a shift happening, rapidly even in Kenyan markets, and not just the Nestle's and Unilevers of the world. Moving on to my next question is, to Rehan sir is, like there are new platforms like Jumia changing shopping habits, right? And people are more adapting to easy shopping habits. Of course, nobody really wants to go to retail stores and purchase goods. So what are how should FMCG brands adjust its route to market approach, to to uh, to overcome this challenge?
So yeah, okay, we do have the online shopping companies currently in Kenya trying to get some penetration in the market. However, because of the constraints of them being able to manage the route to market in terms of basically doing timely delivery and managing the orders coming in helter skelter from different parts, and they have not been able to really disrupt the current Kenyan distributors who are locally based in each and every region. So they have tried, but it's not been easy for them. From our side, we have been very consistent in how we tend to visit these customers and try. So there is that level of confidence which we have created with them, and we they have the partnership which they have, and they are anytime Sojpar will not fail me, and they do now tend to build trust with us. So our retailers are now building trust with them and confidence, so they tend to stick to the current local partners, unlike the online. And for me, to be honest, just from my opinion, Kenya is still not ready for the online shopping module for now. Maybe in another 10 years, then maybe it will be ready. But for now, they still based very through the pre-sales model working via the sales rep. That is what is ideal. And so until and then when all our basically all the what I'd say, okay, basically if right now we do have online for the food and horeca, the restaurants, basically right now that is working, and until that gets down to the retailers in the smaller markets, in the upcountry markets, until then if that doesn't become strong, then we are not ready for the online shopping as yet. Maybe some sort it will work because it's already an urban center, and the city is big. But how the delivery management is done is a big challenge. But so far we are able to navigate, and we're able to push and service these customers better than the online shopping platforms. Thank you. Over to you.
Yes, now I've gotten an insight that in Kenyan markets, people are more relied on trust, and yeah, it shouldn't change because quick commerce is making people lazy. So hopefully, yes, it does go on that 10 years. Also, people do go and buy products from our supermarkets. And we have a very interesting question posted on by one of our viewers, that is, does an AI tool provide recommendations? If so, does it impact sales rep efficiency and productivity in FMCG distribution? And I would actually like Isaac to take it up because he has been someone who's working with a lot of AI tools. So can you please answer that for us, Isaac?
Yeah, sure. AI tools definitely will provide predictions. Uh, does it provide recommendation, and if so, does it impact rep efficiency and productivity? Yeah, there are two things. When you're doing, let's say, the sales rep route, AI will predict to you the route that is most efficient for this guy to see, and I will always highlight the key customers that have to be seen. And secondly, it also highlights the areas in which you need to put in the products that you need to emphasize on. For example, if it realizes that this person has not ordered a product that he used to order, it will flag it as something has not been ordered for the last 2 weeks. So it will provide to you more or less an agenda in which you can be able to go and discuss with the recommended customer. And given that it will be very specific, it will add value both to you, because your chances of making a sale are very high. And secondly, the customer will also realize that you understand their business and hence create a bigger trust. Even next time when you tell him and you make or you propose something that has not been AI driven, they will believe you because you have already built the trust. So yes, it does actually affect the productivity in the FMCG distribution.
Thank you for answering that, Isaac. I hope this has cleared our, and this has this has given answers to this question and cleared our doubts as well. Next, I wanted to ask Sidik sir. This was some question that I had I always wanted to ask you, but I think this is the best platform that I can convey this question is, how does Pwani Oil manage price fluctuations caused by import challenges? Like, how do you stabilize your cooking oil prices, and especially make sure that the market is more buying your prices and a lot of
Yeah, so it's again based on data, on history, and looking at what you can consume, and that is what you will order from the imports. But the other bigger thing is to ensure that you remain relevant, you remain price sensitive, or priced at par with market. Is you have to look at a lot of cost engineering. You could do a lot of cost engineering in your packaging, in your route to market, in your own production facilities, and you could cut down those costs, which really do not add value but increase the price. So if you can get a handle of what is adding the cost to the product and try and eliminate that, then you can be very relevant even if the prices go up and down at any given point in time. So that is exactly what we did. We did a pilot last year in the month of June, and it was quite successful. We have seen our volumes grow tremendously over the last 6 months coming into this year, and that's we will continue doing the same. We keep on cutting down on costs, especially in the packaging area in the transport sector. Whatever would add anything extra, uh, we go and do that, reduce, and give it to the consumer at the most price friendly range. Thank you, Sharda.
Thank you, Sidik sir. No, that was thank you for answering that for me. Now I have another question to Isaac sir. Is that a lot of there's a lot of issues when it comes to implementing ERP and SFA for seamless route to market, because all of them are disconnected and often can lead to data silos between distributors, sales teams, and retailers. So, what are the best practices for implementing ERP and SFA systems to ensure seamless route to market execution? Right. Recently, PNGA has integrated its ERP with SFA platforms so that sales rep can access the real time stock and order data for better decision making. So, how do you think FMCG brand should go about this?
Um, this is a good question. We having implemented ERPs for some time and having implemented the SFA, you have to agree on one thing: where do the orders come from? The sales order. Who's generating the sales order? And number two, where is the pricing? Where does the pricing list sit? Does it sit in the SFA or does it sit in the ERP? And lastly, where do we keep the volume? Where do you keep the stock? How do you handle customer stock versus UNGA stock? So in this case, for the SFA, the first thing we need to know is when they make an order, it's being made on the SFA, but it has to be recorded within the ERP. Secondly, there are two types of orders that are being made here. There is the B2B, which is UNGA to their distributor. And then we have some field agents, which are the DSRs. They make their orders to the distributor. You get what I'm saying? The first
Yes.
one, UNGA to the distributor, and our guys, they make orders to the distributors so that they can fulfill the retailer. So UNGA prefers not to manage the stock, but just keep track. There's a difference. Managing stock is whereby you are keeping the numbers to the letter, to the SKU, and also being able to evaluate the value of stock that you have. Keeping track is knowing that I delivered 100, and then our DSRs and their regional managers keep stock. How many do you have today, so that we are able to manage that stock? Reason being, for you to be able to manage the stock of a distributor, it means you have to make them within your system a part of your entity. And given that it is not consignment stock, this has already been sold. A sales order has been done and the stock has moved from UNGA to the distributor. It means that it can no longer be tracked within the ERP because it is now no longer UNGA stock. it has become the stock of the distributor. Now, you leverage on the SFA now to keep track of the stocks that the distributor has bought and how much is he selling, and then it will reduce gradually. It might not be exact to the letter, but it might be enough for you to make decisions. It might be enough for you to run your AI on and still get a very high percentage of reality. So that's the first step of stock. And then when making the order, when the distributor makes the order to you, this is either done through the SFA or they can do through the email and the bot. So when it's done through the SFA is integrated with SAP or the ERP that you're using. And using APIs, it will send the details of the order, and the ERP will be able to capture the details of the order and fulfill it. And once it's fulfilled, then it can be able now to take note within the SFA that the order has been fulfilled. So what we are talking about here is bef- before you start leveraging on the technology, you have to agree on your architecture for your route to market. You have to agree on what sits where, which stock are you managing vis-a-vis what are you tracking. Who's making the order? Is it our DSR, our field agents, or are we going to give them a portal within our SFA for them to make an order? Or are we going to integrate with their system directly? We can even, if it's a big customer, we'll sit down and make sure that the two systems are able to communicate. Whenever you make an order from from your system, it will come directly into our system. Whenever you move any material that is within our SKU list, then it should be able to impact our tracking on the side of the ERP. So it is a case by case basis, but you need to understand the architecture of your route to market first. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Isaac. It was a great insight on how we can go about this. There's another question that's been put up on the chat box that I wanted to highlight is what kind of data should FMCG companies prioritize collecting to maximize AI's impact? I would like Sidik sir to talk about this.
Yeah, I think what we need to check here is it's a very good one because most of the industries rely on primary sales, what goes to the distributor or to the direct accounts. What we do not check is what the distributor is selling in where in the region he is selling at. So I think the first data that we need to look at is the secondary sales data, which should give you an aggregate of all the sales that are done in that region by one distributor or very many distributors if you have multiple distributors. That will tell you what your coverage, placement, availability, and issues are related to your product in that specific region or even geography. So, for example, you could have your entire basket selling in everywhere, but you have a certain product from that basket not selling in that region. It will be able to tell you that there's a problem here, and you need to then have alerts to the team to give you the reasons why the way the product is not being sold. It could be as near as the distributor has not stocked that product for that region or is not supplying to that region, or the price is just not right for that region, it doesn't make sense for that region, or that variant does not just work for the region. You'll get a lot of insights when you go and look at that data holistically, and it will give you some reasons as to why it is not behaving or more performing well. Then you can make a decision on what to do. That is where the human element comes. When you've done all these things, then you come and say, uh, let's change tact. You could change the SKU, you could change the grammage, you could change the pricing, you could do everything there to make the product move. So the starting point is you've got to get your secondary data from all the customers that you service on a primary basis. That will tell you if you are available in trade or not available in trade. A distributor could be buying stocks and keeping them in his warehouse for all he takes. Today, in the scenario, the prices are going up, distributors tend to stock up. So that gives you a wrong indication uh, in terms of demand forecasting. It will skew your demand forecasting in the wrong way. But if you know that he has bought X quantity and he sold that X quantity in a certain market, then your demand forecasting also comes into play and you have the right forecasting. Again, that is another way of cutting down on waste because you will not be producing just to store, you'll be producing to sell. Thank you, Sharda.
Thank you so much for that, Sidik sir. It has answered our question, and and uh, and I'm so happy that all of you joined, and we've had such an amazing discussion over this. I would like to thank all of you, all the viewers, for joining, and I'm pretty sure everyone has had some insights to take back. And also Also, we have covered a lot of ground today, exploring how digital transformation is shaping the future of FMCG distribution in Kenya. And we love to hear all the suggestions. And I would now we would like now we'll just move on to showing our our RI co-pilot. That's one of Bizom's newest launch, and we'll have that being taken over. Thank you, everyone.